Hello world, it's me, Julian Venables, the London Astrologer, and I'm here today to talk to you about the Sun trining Neptune in the water signs of Pisces in Cancer, and also Mercury going direct in Cancer, and also leading up to the Sun-Jupiter opposition that will happen on Tuesday, and the very interesting Mars conjunct Chiron in Aries that will happen on Tuesday as well. So it's a lovely weekend today. The sun is definitely shining a lot more, and it's warming up again after all those winds. And to me, it seems at the moment that, of course, there is so much actually water influence going on with the sun in Cancer and Mercury in Cancer. And over this last couple of days, we've had this really quite wonderful sun trine Neptune, which is lovely for a sense of having good imagination, having a dream, having a vision, sensitizing yourself to your environment, idealizing over things that could be perfect, and also the idea of, or the sensation, the feeling that there is a unity or a merging or a oneness of which we can all belong to if we let go to something. And that could be said to be unconditional love. You know, it's a sense of just letting go to unify or become one, and that's a lovely experience. So when the Sun trines Neptune, which happens twice a year, it's a lovely time of year. Now the Sun in Cancer at the moment, of course, is bringing to light very much things like the idea of what protects us, what's our security, what where do we get our nurturing from and our sense of belonging, and Neptune, of course, is the unseen, if you like, the perceived feelings of things. It's a water vibe, water elements. So it's not necessarily expressed, but it's a feeling, and this is that sort of sense of being at one. It's a very interesting time to sort of feel your way forwards into the atmosphere and the environment of things. So I'm going to bring you the board right now. Here's the board. So I hope you can see this. So we have, yes, Sun in Cancer, the light in water, sensitivity, emotion, feeling, nurturing and belongingness, trining, making good harmony with a sense of a good rapport with Neptune, the god of the ocean, dreams and visions in Pisces, merging in unity, the complete wisdom of all things, really, through unifying and understanding oneself as part of the collective or the whole. The same time today we have Mercury stationing direct in Cancer. Mercury's been going backwards for 3 weeks. It's now actually starting to go forwards again, and so things we have been considering, things we have been reviewing and going over in the past, particularly to do with family matters, with how we relate to people at an emotional level, with our sense of nurturing and belonging to something, and I'm actually needing that. Therefore, our needs have been important. We've been thinking, Mercury, about our needs, which are the crab. Okay, today that blends in with this feeling of the oneness, the attunement to all and all things. Now, this is all happening today, Sunday, and it's peaking round about now, actually. But I thought I'd make the video now because what we're leading up to is a very interesting aspect here. On Tuesday at 9 a.m, the Sun opposes Jupiter. The Sun is still in the water sign of Cancer, the crab. Jupiter is the planet of expansion and opportunity in the very dry or logical sign of Capricorn. And so when you get a warm planet in a rigid sign, they don't match very well. So Jupiter's in its fall there, but the Sun's lighting things up. Jupiter's exalted in Cancer across the other side of the chart. So there's a link to about being more or recognizing that we can take things too far sometimes, which of course brings me, and I'll bring the board back up in a minute, but that brings me to the headline of today, because this is actually quite interesting. And today's headline I picked today is The Guardian, and this is reflecting the Mars conjunct Chiron in Aries as well. It says here, face masks in shops will not be mandatory in England. So says the government. Gove says that. And now, of course, this spreads confusion. We're still at the very end of Mercury retrograde. There is a lot of confusion about that. But Aries is the face. Aries would be, and Chiron is the sensitivity, the wound we're having to suffer. So I'm going to get onto that in a minute. But keep that in mind. Aries being the face mask. It's Chironic. We have to cover ourselves so we don't suffer. And that's an interesting thing. But it reflects on that idea of what do we actually need. And with Mercury retrograde finishing its actual retrograde today, but still in what we call its shadow zone, so still very sensitive to saying the wrong thing, then this might be a very reflective thing to think about. That brings me to showing you the board to say that this Mars conjunct Chiron in Aries is also on Tuesday at 10 a.m. So everything's pointing to Tuesday the 14th of July. This is the key. So everything that's going on today, and this is generally quite good feelings. I mean, this should actually be genuinely a very nice weekend, right? You'll probably be feeling very relaxed, very at one with your loved ones. Sun, trine, Neptune in Pisces. We're leading to the 14th of July, which is a big situation of Mars conjunct Chiron in Aries. So let's look at that. Mars is the go-getter. Mars is the assertive one. Mars has a goal or a target. Chiron is the wounded, sensitive one. When it's in Aries, it's like what we're getting there at the moment, I think, is a lot of like, yes, there are wounds from the past. Yes, there are things that, that Chiron being the most sensitive point we have that lasts our whole lives. We suffer, each of us has a Chiron doing something. We suffer for that in our lives. And then we have to learn, or teach our way out of it. While suffering, we are still teaching the wound that we have suffered ourselves. And in Aries, it's about to put it in another way, I suppose, would be a violation of the self in some form or other. That's the sensitivity. Where have we done ourselves in, as it were? And Mars is that go-getter. Mars is now taking that energy. And Mars is in his own sign in Aries. Therefore, he is in his own palace. He's kind of saying something like, just go for it. Just go for it. And yes, you're going to feel the wounds. Yes, you're going to feel the suffering. But, just keep pushing forwards. Keep pushing onwards. And try not to worry about it too much. Try not to let that concern you too much. Is there something bigger, better, greater to learn about or to teach to others that has to be, put across to people? Mars is something that will put something across. That, of course, is this idea that, and that's why I mentioned that headline there. The government's trying to put something across to people. They're trying to say, we want to ease you out of the lockdown. We want to make it easier for people to interact with each other again. What they actually want, of course, is the economy to be back to normal again. But this is, of course, going to lead to that Sun opposite Jupiter is trying ever so hard to try and get people to do things that are bigger, get back involved with society again, Jupiter. Keep things normal, Jupiter in Capricorn, but Jupiter's been meeting Pluto in Capricorn, and of course that's like, well, it's rebirth time. We're actually going through the rebirth, and can they actually get people back to the way they were before? And the answer is no, they can't. So how are they going to stimulate the world to interact with each other? Well, they did by opening the pubs. That stimulated everybody for the night, didn't they? Sold millions of pints for the night and stimulated. But there's other things that are just not working anymore, and that's not the best way of doing things to get the nation all drunk, really, is it? But anyway, I don't want to go off on a tangent here, and I don't want to get too political. But the big shift that we're going through here is recognizing that there is, or there has to be, a brand new beginning. And you can't go back to the way things were before. We now have to bravely, Mars in Aries, conjunct Chiron, courageously, Mars in Aries, conjunct Chiron, move forwards into what is the new thing. What is that new thing? Well, with the Sun in Cancer and Mercury stationing in Cancer, that new thing is is protectiveness, nurturing, a sense of belonging, the return of the tribe, maybe the return of the family values, but in a way that's got to be with more emotion, with more feeling, with more sense of safety. That's where the safety is. So as a movement, how about getting people to work from home a lot more? People are very happy that they can work from home now. That's really been quite a big step forward, and to be told to go back to the way they were before is not necessarily going to be very welcome in a lot of areas. So it's worth considering bringing in ways of allowing people to work from home, and I think that's one of the ways, just one of the ways, that we could have that new beginning. Is slightly getting away from that office environment, which is of course Capricorn, the hierarchy of the office. When Jupiter-Pluto meeting in Capricorn, Saturn-Pluto is in Capricorn, and that when Capricorn retrograded back into, when Saturn retrograded back into Capricorn last week, then of course, it was like back to the office, everybody. But no, there's going to be some change, some difference, some development, some evolution, moving forwards into something new and different. And I think that is really the key to what this is going to be what is happening. And that Sun opposite Jupiter on Tuesday is recognizing that, and Mars conjunct Chiron is saying, yes, we will move forwards. It hurts to do so, yeah, but we're going to move forwards and see what we get to with that. So let's see if Tuesday brings some really interesting developments about recognizing that the positive effects of the lockdown, not just diminishing the coronavirus, but what are the positive effects to society, and what direction can we move forwards now, having integrated those positive effects. So there we go. My name's Julian Venables. I'm the London Astrologer. I hope you enjoyed that video. I was talking today about the Sun trining Neptune in the watery signs of emotion and feeling. Sun trine Neptune in Cancer and Pisces, Mercury going direct in Cancer, finding our voices again to talk about our feelings, and coming up to the Sun opposite Jupiter and Mars conjunct Chiron. 4 important aspects. I hope you enjoy this video. Please do subscribe to my channel, which is somewhere around about here. Below the video screen is a red button called subscribe. Please click that. Beside that there's a little bell. If you click that and go all, then you'll see my videos when I release them. Here there's a thumbs up. I really like thumbs up. I'm sure they help my rankings in Google. So please give me a thumbs up if you've enjoyed any part of this video at all. And you're very welcome to leave the comments on the comment box here down below the video here. On Tuesday, the 14th of July, I am doing a webinar, and it is about, I've called the webinar The Marvelous Consciousness Shift of 2020. That is because we are entering this marvelous consciousness shift, and it really is a very, very special year. So for the amazingly good value of £5, please sign up and join me on Zoom on Tuesday the 14th of July. And if you go to my website londonastrologer.com, astrology webinars, you will find the link also underneath the video here. Then please sign up and join me on Zoom for my webinar. It'll be good to see you there. I might not talk to you personally, but I'll be talking to the group. So I hope you enjoy that. I have also started beginners classes with astrology, and you can still join in. It's going to be a rolling program that I'm going to do. I'm teaching the planets from now till Christmas, and it's every 2 weeks on the 2nd and 4th Wednesdays of the month. And it'll be a 1-hour Zoom class, and there'll be plenty of good handouts to read and excellent material, and also the insights of me, an astrologer who's been doing this for 25 years. More than 20, anyway, around about 25 years. So that's when I started really reading charts, was in 1995. So I hope you have enjoyed this video. I'll hopefully see you again soon. And have a good rest of the weekend. Have a marvellous week next week. I do believe it's going to be fascinating times ahead, and speak to you all soon. Thank you, and bye for now.